Okay, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Hey, very much unlike January, February grabbed her belongings and got up out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry. We are transitioning into spring. Well, some of us, not so much here in Maryland, but I'm not going to delve too much into the weather. Technically, with us being in the month of March, we are transitioning into spring weather. So naturally, I have a number of fragrances lined up that I think would be great for this kind of transitional weather period. But of course, before we get into today's video, you all know to make sure that you are subscribed and make sure you hit that notification bell, boo, so you don't miss when I upload another video. After subscribing and setting those post notifications to all, make sure you give this video a big fat thumbs up because it's free and it really goes a long way to help us support the channel and help us to grow. And last but most certainly not least, never forget if you are interested in trying or buying any of the fragrances recommended in today's video to make sure you shop via any available links and or discount codes down below in the description box because it really helps support the channel and you go buy it anyway. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, if you're interested in knowing the kind of transitional fragrances that I have in mind for March 2025, make sure you keep watching. Today's lip is Fenty Beauty's Fuchsia Flex Lip Gloss. This is one that we have talked about a few times on the channel. Love this as a topper. I love this by itself, like I'm wearing it today. It's just pretty, and it's one that you can kind of build up the pigment. I've been a Fenty gloss stan since the beginning, and I keep saying I'm going to stop buying it, but the lie detector determined that was a lie. As for my scent of the day, I picked up a travel spray of this new to me brand that I've heard a number of our faves discuss over on the socials. This is a Black woman owned brand that I heard about during Black History Month, but now we're in March, which is Women's History Month, so it still counts and I'm still Black. So this, regardless, is Octavia Morgan's Midnight Orchard. I'm not sure if this is going to show up very well because of my lighting, but this is, like I said, from Octavia Morgan, and I picked this up, blind bought it from Ulta because I wasn't able to find it in a location local to me. If you can see, you know, I have a little bit of a dent there. I've been playing around with this scent a whole lot for the last maybe like week or two, and I really like it. It is a peach fragrance, which is what made me jump out the window and go ahead and buy it, in addition to all of our faves raving about it. Had it on my skin for a couple of hours, but I will go ahead and refresh it. And immediately when you spray it, so fruity, juicy. The peach is very well done. To me, my nose, it's a bright, kind of refreshing peach, but still really sweet without being like childish. The peach is very well done, and I've told you all several times how peach can be pretty tricky for me in fragrance. There's also a kick from a little bit of pepper. I think it's Szechuan pepper, and I don't want you to be intimidated. The pepper is just a little something to give it a little interest and making that peach really sophisticated and giving it some oomph. You know what I'm saying? There's also a woodiness. There's also vanilla in this. This is very soft, very subtle, very sensual. We love alliteration here. And it's sweet without being too much. This is one that I've been wearing to the office and I've been wearing it to bed. And it's just really pretty. It's just pretty, you know what I'm saying? It's not super complex, it's not super beast mode, but one that leaves a nice trail and one that really lingers on the skin in a really close to your person, subtle, sexy type of way. As you can see, I've been having a time with this one. I also have another fragrance from Octavia Morgan that I plan on spending time with and sharing with you all in another video. Regardless, that is my first impressions of today's scent of the day. New to me, Black woman owned, Black woman founded, Black woman formulated, Octavia Morgan. And again, the scent is Midnight Orchard. Do I want to start? Let's start here because this one hurts a little bit. I guess this one can be a bit of an honorable mention, but I also decided that during each fragrance tray, I guess I've kind of been doing this unintentionally or, you know, unconsciously anyway, but I'm intentionally going to put a fragrance on my tray that is near the end that I need to stop holding on to and go ahead and use up. So this one is going to count as that, as well as an honorable mention for a couple of reasons. One, it's discontinued, and two, I'm holding on to this for what? Shout out to Denise Adore for pushing the girls to go ahead and use their things up, because yes, let's stop clinging and cleaving to the past and move forward. Okay, it's 2025. We're onward and upward. This first one in the lineup has sentimental value to me because one, it was one of my first big girl purchases. You know what I'm saying? One of my first big girl perfumes. Did I recklessly blind buy this because somebody was talking about it on YouTube years ago? Absolutely, but I have no regrets. Okay, Armani, Armani C Fiori. This is a flanker of the beloved C, one of the millions of flankers at this point. But this gives you that black currant, syrupy, sweet, vanillic seed DNA, but it makes it a bit more creamy. It makes it more powdery. Some people compare this to a milkshake. I wouldn't say that. Maybe more so like the milk powder, if you will, but it's one of the best fragrances from Armani, and this is like one of the go-to designer houses for me, especially when I was first starting out. And I just don't know why they would discontinue this. This also has some patchouli, which makes this last for all eternity. And this, I've told you all before, I feel like is a fragrance that walked so that fragrances like Burberry Her Elixir could run. In my opinion, discontinuing this was a huge miss and mistake for Armani, but I think I maybe have just a couple of drops in here, maybe a wear or two left. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this up so I can go ahead and put this in my empties because I've been holding on to these last few droplets for an ungodly amount of time, and it's time to go ahead and move on. But I'll always love her and treasure the times that we've had together. I love wearing this by itself. It's one that garnered compliments. I loved layering this back in the day with Donna Born Aroma or with Ariana Grande's Cloud. Compliments every single time. This is one of those designer fragrances that is just one that is classic, timeless, feminine, mass appealing, and just made you feel beautiful. And I just don't know why they would do this to me. Regardless, on the lineup for March, I'm gonna go ahead and use up the dearly departed C Fiori from Armani. Moving on to another gem that in my opinion is pretty affordable and is still in production, fortunately. This is Trussardi's Donna. And yes, this is a humongous 100 ml bottle that I blind bought recklessly during the pandemic. And just to give you a comparison, not at all the same fragrance, but if you are familiar with Mont Blanc Signature, think that, but way more fruity and fun, in my opinion. This is definitely a citrusy, fruity, just like not citrusy cleaner, like a sweet citrus that gives you, you know, a bright, refreshing, uplifting opening. Ignore my boss, he'll be okay. Also some florals, really feminine, powdery, musky, subtly sweet. This, if I'm not mistaken, was one that I purchased because it was deemed to be Priyanka Chopra's signature fragrance that people constantly compliment her on. This is so good, and I don't know why more people don't talk about this, especially at this price point. This is one you can find on the discounters for cheap, and that's hard to do in today's socio-political climate, I'm just saying. But this is just one that just smells like a lady. You can throw this on to go to the office. You can throw this on, you know, slick back bun, white blouse, sundress. Just going to be a great, easy transitional fragrance that's great for springtime. You can wear this on a warm day or even on a slightly cooler day. Perfect for daytime. Just so good and classy. Definitely one that I highly recommend getting your nose on, especially if you're into that kind of fruity, floral, musky DNA. Because this is so affordable, the bottle is humongous, and because of how light and dainty this is, I go in with the sprays. Definitely a more modest, arm's length type of projection if you ask me, but I do get fantastic performance, especially on clothing, without it being obnoxious. This is one that just leaves a beautiful, just pretty girl scent trail, really effortless, and just a perfect, accessible, affordable, if you ask me, underrated, signature go-to spring fragrance that I think is perfect for this time of year. I can actually take this into the summer too because of how refreshing and uplifting it is. So again, in rotation for March, I plan on spending time with Trussardi's Donna. Staying in that similar kind of powdery, musky lane that we've been in so far, another one that I want to continue spending time with is the newest release at the day of me filming this video anyway, from Kayali that we've talked about multiple times. This is Bougie Marshmallow 81. It's definitely been in several videos so far, and I still cannot figure out if I love this fragrance or not. I do feel like now that we've had like a little preview of spring weather, of course, because I live in Maryland, it's back to being brick cold again, but that little preview of being in like the upper 50s, 60s with it being sunny and, you know, fake warm a little bit. I like this better than I have so far. It's definitely, you know, aging and being on warm skin in a warmer climate definitely helped the projection. And if you follow me on Instagram, you definitely saw me mention that combo that I told you all about in my weekly roundup. I'll make sure I have it linked up top in case you missed out. But it's like, this has so much potential and I'm like trying to give it grace, but I don't know why. The strawberry in this is so yummy to me. It's sweet without being too sweet and too synthetic to my nose. And I definitely think the freesia kind of helps with that. It adds to the sweetness without making it too much, I feel. Kind of balances it out. The coconut, I feel, is not overpowering that strawberry, because coconut can be, you know, pretty overwhelming in a fragrance. It can also be too synthetic for my nose and just not enjoyable or wearable. But I don't have that experience with this. Not to mention that fluffy, sweet vanilla, that marshmallow, giving it that airiness. And that musk, just making it linger in the air for other people, because it don't linger in the air long enough for me. But what I enjoy about this fragrance, I really enjoy. I just wish I could enjoy it longer. Now, I do really enjoy how this performs when layered with other things. And like I said, while I can't particularly smell this after, you know, 3-4 hours, everybody else can, because every time I've worn this, I've gotten compliments so far. It is a wearable gourmand. I just wish it performed longer, but we'll see how it continues to perform as the weather gets warmer and as this continues to age. But again, this month I'm going to be spending time with Kayali's Bougie Marshmallow 81. Moving on to another fragrance in the lineup that honestly I've kind of been neglecting. This is one that I haven't talked about in a while and I haven't reached for in a while, and I think it's perfect for this kind of transitional weather. So Andrea Mack's Light Source is definitely going to be one I plan on being intentional about spending time with this month. This is a citrusy, green, I don't know if I want to say spicy, maybe a little spicy. Let me spray a little bit. First of all, Andrea Mack's atomizers are top tier. Yeah, it does have a little bit of a little kick to it. Definitely get that citrus. And I actually told Andrea Mack when I met her last year that the way that she does citrus is chef's kiss. It's definitely a realistic citrus, but it must be something about Iceland, child, because the citrus over there isn't super harsh. It doesn't get cleaner. There's a sweetness to the citrus, if you will. Definitely still a tart, tangy lemon, but not, again, giving you that pledge pine sol type of lemon, which I can really appreciate. Also something green and earthy in here that just makes this smell like a wood nymph. I don't know, like a garden fairy. This is one that I can see Cinderella wearing, I can see Snow White wearing, I can see Tinkerbell wearing, all of the above. If you have a garden wedding, perfect for that. Especially if you are more into more aromatic, refreshing, earthy type of scents. I'm definitely picking up some rose as this is drying down. So yeah, this is one that I want to spend time getting to know. This is one that Twisted Lily sent to me, and I just kind of, you know, neglected because I got too much Regardless, if you are interested in trying or buying, I'll make sure I have my link and discount code down below in the description box. But this month, I definitely plan on intentionally spending time with and getting to know Andrea Max Light Source. Another earthy one sent to me from the brand that I told you all about in my most recent fragrance haul, I'll make sure I leave it linked up top in case you are interested in watching, is Finery's Jungle Santal. You may remember that I told you all they sent me this very generous holiday package, so that's why this bottle is bejeweled. Unfortunately, your bottle will not be bedazzled like this, but the juice inside is what's really important if you ask me. May even feel like this leans a little bit masculine, but this one I've only worn to bed so far, so I can't give you all too much just yet. But it's definitely a more, I won't say sheer, but there's definitely a translucency, if you ask me, to a spicy, earthy, woody, maybe even aromatic, herbally green situation going on here. But in my opinion, a wearable way. I thought that this is one that is comparable to Le Labo Santal 33, which in my opinion is just way too much, and one that I just can't pull off. It's just too heavy. But this, when I tried it out on a tester strip, and even recently when I tried it out on skin, was just right. It wasn't too much. It wasn't cloying. I didn't feel like I needed to scrub it off. It didn't smell super manly to me, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, sometimes I just want to smell like a fairy princess. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this might even have like a tea note in it as well. This is a clean brand. It's also super affordable and accessible. Of course, I'll make sure I have links down below in the description box. But regardless, I want to make sure I spend some time getting to know newbie in the collection, Finery's Jungle Santal. Oh, I got a meeting, y'all. I got to go. Now that my back-to-back meetings are over, we can go ahead and finish this tray. This next fragrance I actually fell in love with via a sample from a discovery set that was gifted to me from the brand. And the brand was so gracious enough to send me a full-size bottle after I told them how much I enjoyed this fragrance. And this is Clean Reserve's H2O Collection's Nectarine Petal. This is one that we touched on briefly last spring, I want to say, maybe even last summer. And I've worn this a few times, but now that we are circling back into spring, I definitely want to really spend some time with this because it just smells so damn good. I feel like once we start getting into the like super humid hot months, I'm not going to want to smell like the, you know, luscious, juicy, sweet fruits. I'm going to want to smell more like the citrusy, you know, refreshing, clean leaning fruits. This has a sweetness to it. That nectarine is so realistic, so juicy and perfectly sweet. Not at all, you know how Clean Reserves do. It's not getting ready to be no loud beast mode fragrance. But for this to be in their water-based collection, these fragrances that I've tried, at least the ones that I've tried thus far, performed really well. I'm talking at least 6-7 hours where I'm able to enjoy the projection of the fragrance myself, let alone what other people are experiencing. I don't know because I don't care. But that nectarine is so good. Of course, there's some florals in this as well, making it really feminine, really daytime, dainty, really pretty. And of course, it's got that kind of watery, musky, and just refreshing dry down. Another Your Skin But Better fragrance, but with a fruity floral twist. And it's just pretty. It's an easy reach. It's not offensive. Not one you have to think too hard about. One that's just going to smell good, which I feel like Clean Reserve excels at, in my humble opinion. Not super complex, not even super unique maybe, and definitely not a super beast mode loud projector, but present and effective, which I really appreciate. So again, I definitely want to make sure I spend a lot of time this month with Clean Reserve's Nectarine Petal. I don't know why I keep trying to show you these bottles, child. Now this next fragrance might have been my signature spring scent of 2024, and I'm definitely circling it back for 2025. This was a fragrance that was a love at first sniff, started as a travel. Now we're here to the full-size bottle. I picked this up during a Sephora sale after falling in love with the travel spray and running through it. This is one that I blind bought because of the Perfume Princess, yet again, who I've mentioned on the channel before. This has pear, and even has pear in the name. This is Net Pear Jam. How cute is this bottle? Love it so much. And I'm not even a pink girl. I mean, don't pay me no mind. This is so mouth-watering, and if I'm not mistaken, Net actually had this formulated to be uplifting and to spark joy and happiness. This is a really almost tart, refreshing, clean raspberry and pear concoction. And I don't want to say this smells like a cocktail because it doesn't smell boozy, but it kind of smells like a cocktail, maybe a mocktail. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, it just smells like a really refreshing, fruity drink. But there's also a floral aspect that just makes this so pretty. There's also patchouli in this, and if I'm not mistaken, there's akigala wood as well. So if you have been around on my channel, those are notes that I find in my experience make a fragrance perform, project, garner compliments. To me, this is like a Jolly Rancher meets an OG Victoria's Secret scent, specifically their pear scent. It's just nostalgic, it's pretty, it lasts, it's not something I have to think hard about, it gets compliments, and that is why I fell in love with it. Not to mention it has pear and like, duh. Oh, that's what I meant to ask you. You all let me know if you are interested in me doing a roundup of all of the fragrances that I purchased and added to my collection last year. I did this video last year and you all seemed to really enjoy it, but I included PR. But I don't think that I'm going to do that this go round. Definitely sound off and let me know if you all are interested in a roundup of all of the fragrances that I added in my collection, you know, whether I kept them and, you know, any updates and dents and such like that. So let me know. Anyway, definitely not going to be for everybody, and that's okay, but this was an absolute love at first sniff for me, and definitely one that I highly recommend trying out, especially for spring, and definitely one that I will be wearing out this month. This again is Net Pear Jam. Another one I have in my March lineup, I honestly wear all year round, but I especially love during the spring, summer, and now that we're kind of transitioning into that, I have to make sure I show some love to my girl, Bond No. 9's Nolita. This was a reckless blind buy in my youth, and I regret absolutely nothing. Starts off with a really realistic tangerine, so juicy, and it gives citrus, but not a super harsh, you know, lemon bergamot type of citrus. It's a tangerine type of citrus, you know, a bit more mild and maybe even a bit more sweet than, you know, a lemon or a lime. There's also some freesia, and something about freesia in fragrances, it really enhances without taking it over. There's also lily of the valley in this, so you can see it's really fresh, it's airy. There's also rose in this, and it's just a perfect daytime dainty rose. Super delicate. I don't feel like it's a super, you know, quote unquote mature old lady rose. And that Bond DNA, that Bond musky and Broxton DNA. Super simple, even though it's not super complex or super unique. People love Nolita, okay? This gets so many compliments. This is one that you can wear to the office. This is one that you can wear to, you know, a little casual event, a daytime event, brunch. Not my top favorite Bond. In fact, if you all would like a Bond ranking video, let me know. I don't have a huge collection, but you know, I got enough to have an opinion. Regardless, it's just good. It's basic, but it's beautiful and it's effective. And it has a place in my collection. This is one that I absolutely love all year round, but especially during the warmer months, even though, you know, the weather's likely faking this out. Regardless, this is going to give me what I need. And again, this is Bond No. 9's Nolita. This last one I have on the lineup for March, I actually mentioned to you all during the winter and during the holiday season, because it's one of those easy reach go-to fragrances that it's just a little bit bougie, you know what I'm saying? It's one that can perform in cold weather, but is still airy enough to be effective in warmer weather, which makes it perfect for this kind of transitional season we're in. And this one was sent over to me from Twisted Lily when they used to send me things. This is the means Patiala. This is no stranger to the channel, and hopefully my dent is registering. I think it is. This just smells like a beautiful woman with some money. As I always say, this gives you the most beautiful, elegant, classy rose. Other florals too, but the rose is definitely most prominent. There's some aldehydes in this, really soapy, but in a really elevated way. Not at all sharp, really smooth, refined, very well blended. Also really airy, slightly sweet, warm dry down. This lasts so freaking long on my skin. This is, if I'm not mistaken, an extrait de parfum. And while it's light and airy, it still got some weight to it, okay? This is an independent woman who don't need no man. This is classy, it's elegant, it's timeless, very feminine. And this is one that I feel like I can dress up or down. I can wear it to the office or a formal event. It's just so freaking beautiful. And what's most important is that it makes me feel beautiful. Absolutely a 10 out of 10. Would highly recommend. I will make sure I have my link and discount code for samples or full-size bottles at Twisted Lily down below in the description box. This is just one that I highly recommend getting your nose on. Absolute love at first sniff for both me and Mama Tresses. This gets compliments, and it's another one that I can reach for and know that I'm going to smell good. It's going to deliver every single time without question. And again, another one in the lineup that's perfect for spring is the Means Patiala. Well, folks, that about wraps up my transitional fragrance lineup for March. Definitely sound off in the comments. Let me know what fragrances you have lined up for the month, and definitely sound off and let me know if you try any of the fragrances that we talked about today, or if you're interested in trying them. Of course, if you are interested in trying them, please support the channel by making sure you shop via any available links and or discount codes down below in the description box, because it really helps me out. After commenting on this video, on your way to watching another video of mine, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Please, please, please be safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully the microphone can hear me. Wonderful. Oh, Michael Jackson curl. Y'all, I smell so good. I got a meeting in 30 minutes. We gonna get through this video. Ooh, too much shit going on. Girl, go to hell. Cozy. Comfortable in my skin. Cozy with who I am. Comfortable in my skin. Cozy. Cozy. Comfortable in my skin.